Yeah, that's a Celtic Guardian deck actually catching my interest, and we have some Vaylantz shenanigans for you today as well. One big 30% of you that have not smashed the elephant crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. We're going to be starting off with Celtic Guardian. Now, for those of you that have followed this channel for quite some time, every once in a while, Celtic Guardian box comes out of nowhere and actually catches my interest. And this is one of those cases today where we get to see, what is this, an adventure Celtic Guardian deck actually showing up out of the OCG. So, you know, it really is something to see some of these weird things performing. So we have triple copies of Imano Iwado. We have one copy of the Barrier Statue of the Drought. We got triple copies of the Celtic Guard of Noble Arms. And then, of course, we have one Illegal Knight, two copies of Kumamungi, one copy of the Magic Horror Warrior of the Relics, triple copies of Maxi, your one copy of Obnoxious Celtic Guard, two Revolution Synchron, triple Water Enchantress, and then, of course, triple copies of the Celtic Guardian themselves. Then we have one Draco back, triple Faithful Adventure, one copy of the Foolish Barrow, one copy of the Forest of Lost Flowers, two Pot of Prosperity with one Roto, two copies of Rite of Armesier, triple copies of Small World, one copy of the Starlit Papillion, and then we have one Breath of Resurrection and one copy of Red Rebuto here. Then we have one Mrs. Radiant, one Link Spider with one Nightmare Phoenix. We have one Boral Sword, one Asa with one number 41, one Gallant Granite with one copy of the Musashi Sword. Then we have one Shooting Riser, one Scribe Dragon, one Power Tool, one Naturia Beast, one copy of Crystal Wing, one Moonlit Dragon, and one Baron de Fleur. And then we have two copies of Alpha, the Master of Beast, two copies of Dimension Shifter, one Gamma Seal, one Kumamungi, one Super Agent with two copies of Absolute Value Town here. Then we have triple copies of Evenly Matched, two Solemn Judgment, and one copy of Solemn Scolding here, wrapping up the power that is Solo. Just kidding, it's Celtic Guardian. Next up here is Vaylantz. I see that we're doing super heavy samurai plays in here. I mean, to be fair, these are literally the best universal pendulum scales in the entire game, right? Like, for the things that you can do with this. Overall, I will say that in terms of value management, this is pretty good. We're just playing this just as like a search to interact with General Coral, because we're not even playing Big Banky in this deck. Huh. That's interesting. So they just cut out Big Banky and they just use General Coral here. Okay. That's probably because we're taking more advantage of the lower scale system versus anything else. Okay. So we have two copies of Curtain Riser, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have one Fossil Dino with one copy of Majesty Pegasus, triple copies of Maxi. Got two copies of Nazuki, the Vaylantz Ninja, two copies of Performapal Celestial Magician, one copy of the Extraordinaire Duelist, two copies of the Archer, triple copies of the Priestess, one copy of General Coral, two Motorbike, triple copies of Wakashi. Then we have two copies of Buster Baron, one copy of Duke, and then we have two copies of the Marquis, or triple copies of Marquis, and your triple Viscount. Then you got two Called by the Grip. You have one copy of this card. The fact that you can actually play this card is absurd to me. We have triple copies of Solo Activation, two copies of Wyson, and two copies of the Shinron Bancho. Then you got Abomination, Celine, Raten, the Heavenly General, Electromite, two Beyond the Pendulum, one Apple, one Access Code, one Baguski, one Gallant Granite, one Roz, one copy of Ignister, one Baron, one copy of the Grand Duke, and one copy of the Chronochasm. And then you got the two Crow, two Droll, two Lava Golem, one Link Spider, one Feather Duster, one Lightning Storm, two Talents, triple Imperm, and one copy of Red Reboot here. Wrapping up, well, an interesting little take on this deck. Next up here, hi, Unchained. Ah, man. You know, ever since this deck got its latest round of power-ups here, people have been kind of looking around a little bit and going, you know, maybe Robbie, maybe Unchained is a little bit better than it actually was. Well, this link won two Fiend Monsters. You can on special summon, you can add an Unchained monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then this card will destroy about a card effect while this is in your graveyard. Banish this card, special summon one Fiend Monster. So, you know, if something pops, you get to go ahead and extend on off. So this is actually incredibly good value for what you want for the deck. So we, of course, only play one copy of the Abominable Unchained Soul, triple copies of Astral Blossom and Joy Spring, got the one Droll Knockbird, one Fiendish Rhino Warrior, triple copies of Maxi, one Sango with triple Tour Guide. This has been a pretty common value card for the deck. We have one Unchained Soul of Disaster, triple copies of the Sharvara, one copy of the Shyama, and we have triple copies of Aruha, and then 2 copies of Rakia, and 2 copies of Sarama. Then we have the triple Abominations Prison, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, your triple Forbidden Droplets, 2 Pot of Prosperity, 2 copies of the Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, triple copies of Escape of the Unchained, and 1 copy of Skill Drain. The fact that we just get away with still playing 1 Skill Drain is hilarious. We have 1 Underworld Goddess, we have 2 copies of Soul Rage, 2 copies of Soul of Anguish, triple copies of King Yama. We also have 1 Abomination, 1 copy of News Reporter, 1 Unicorn, 1 copy of Access Code, and triple copies of Wave King Hydarius. And then we have 1 copy of Archfiend Harris, 1 Drosworm, and 1 Magna Hut. So I have 1 DD Crow, 1 Banishment, 1 Effect Veiler, 1 Ghost Mourner, 1 Ghost Ogre, triple copies of Nibiru, 2 copies of Evenly Matched, and 2 copies of the Simul Archfiends here. Wrapping up, well, an interesting little idea. We'll have to see how this impacts the TCG. Next up here is, this is OCG Dragon Link, as we're going to call this. This deck is very interesting for what it does. I also like the fact that we're playing Afterglow and Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon here. Are these really, like, necessary option cards that we kind of need? Well, I'll be honest with you. This is a very cute interaction for what we can, I guess, bring to the table for extension options. Because, I mean, you are doing rank 8 toolbox options, but this does feel more like a version of the deck that is, instead of Dragon Link, it's like Photon Rank 8 Turbo. So, it's still pretty cool. So, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 1 Assault Synchron, 1 copy of Collapse Serpent with 1 Boldrake, 1 Drosworm, and 1 Magna Hut. Then we have 2 Saronir with 1 copy of Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. Got the 1 DD Crow, your 1 Legatus, your 1 Phalanx. We have 2 Remus with your 1 copy of the Spiral Dragon, and then, of course, 1 Afterglow, and 1 Photon Dragon themselves. So we have 1 Ogre, 2 copies of Maxi, 1 Nibiru, 1 copy of Ringleworm, 1 copy of the Shinobi Necro, 2 Starly Shayfort, 1 Nibelion, 1 Chaos Creator, and 1 Wyvern Buster. And then, of course, you got the 1 Branded Regained, 2 Called by the Grave, your triple copies of Chaos Space, 1 Cross of Designator, 2 Dragon Ravine, and 1 copy of Foolish Burial. And then, of course, 1 Striker Dragon, 1 Almirage, your 1 Pentastag, your 1 Heavenly Spheres, your 1 copy of Rom Rom, 1 number C62, Photon Galaxy Lord, Photon Dragon itself, Hope Harbinger Armor, and then, of course, Immortal Dragon, Gators, the Chaos Ruler Brokenness, Chaos Angel and Dissipator, and then, of course, 2 Lancia, 2 Droll, 1 Godarli, 1 Thunder King, 2 Dark Ruler, your Feather Duster, your Lightning Storm, your 2 Regeki, your 2 Dimensional Barrier, and your 1 Red Reboot here. Wrapping up, well, some little Photon Dragon Link good stuff. And last but not least, we have Dinosaur Power in here. Oh my gosh, we are playing the Kaido Patera. If your opponent controls 2 or more face-up non-win monsters, those monsters cannot attack this card for attacks. And then during your main phase, you can add a Polymerization from your main deck to your hand. And then the big fusion. This is a Dinosaur Dragon plus that card. This can attack directly the turn it was special summon. And then, let's see here. If this card is fusion summon, you can place 1 field spell from your deck, grab your face up in your field zone. During your main phase, you meet effect resolves normal summon a Dinosaur Dragon. Oh, this is a free little extender for the deck. Okay. So we have 2 Archosaur, triple Ash, triple Baby. We have 1 DD Crow with 1 Dogron, 1 Crow with the 1 Kyopatera, triple Maxi, triple Misk, triple Pterodon, triple Oviraptor, 1 Listogasm, 2 Tyranno, 1 Xeno, 2 copies of Called By, 1 Crossout, 2 Double Evo, 1 Dragonic Diagram, triple Fossil Dig, your 1 Lost World, your 1 Poly, and 2 Pot of Prosperity. Then, of course, you got the 1 Underworld Goddess, 1 Secure Garden, 1 Almirage, 1 Lingariba, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, your 1 Dahark, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Asa, 1 Access Code, 1 Raz, 1 Logia, 1 Dolka, 1 copy of the Hornsaurus, and then 1 Guardian Chimera. And then, of course, you got the 1 DD Crow, your 1 Pinkertops, your 1 Droll, 1 Ghost Spell, 1 Ghost Ogre, 1 Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Secret Village, 2 Appointer, triple Imperm, and 1 copy of Red Reboot here, wrapping up your chunk of honestly some of the more interesting stuff out of the OCG today. So what do you guys think about some of these goodies? Definitely super exciting. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.